Hello everybody, welcome back to the channel. So in today's video, we are going to be talking about the match between Galatasaray and FC Barcelona. And in this game, Barcelona has tied against Galatasaray 0-0 at the Camp Nou. This was a performance that many of us did not want to see. And to be very honest, what we are going to be doing in the video is talk about the first half, the second half, and then give my overall review of this game. But I'm not going to be talking too much about Barcelona's performance because, again, we expected more from this team. But Barcelona did not give 100%, which is why there is very little to talk about within today's game because we know that these players can do good. We know that these players can bring in results. They can bring in goals. We know that Xavi can bring out the best from these players, but for some reason, I have no idea why, but they just did not bring their A game. I don't know if they thought that Galatasaray was going to be an easy team going up against for tonight, or they just felt way too confident thinking that they were going to be able to score many goals on the second leg, because right now it just does not look like it. It looks like Galatasaray is going to go up against Barcelona in the away game at their home and try to score as many goals as they can, because one of the biggest game plans that Galatasaray did have in this game was to basically defend, right? Defend with 9 to 10 men on the field. That is what they wanted to do because they knew that Barcelona were not going to be able to penetrate this team. And so many of us did expect this, right? We expected this team to play in this way, but not to end with this type of result, because we know that every knockout round, every team that we do place within this round, it is going to be difficult. And Barcelona did not have the attitude, the correct attitude to try and win this game. You look at the average position that Galatasaray did have within the game, you can see that they were sitting very deep. They defended with a 6-man defensive line, 3 midfielders sitting at the back, which meant that they have defended with a total of 9 men. Now, before we go into the rest of this video, I also do want to talk about the OneFootball app, because if you guys do want to find out the stats of this game when it comes to Barcelona and Galatasaray, or if you want to see any stats regarding a specific player, that is going to be within the OneFootball app. There's also going to be post-match review articles. There's also going to be match analysis articles for any other team that you do want to follow. Again, all of that is going to be compact within the OneFootball app. If you guys do want to download the app immediately and be notified live exactly what is going on in Barcelona regarding a player transfer or regarding a specific game, the only thing that you do have to do is basically use your camera on your phone, scan the QR code that you do see here on the screen, and then it'll take you straight to the App Store, and then you can download the OneFootball app, set who you do want to follow, and you'll be set and done from there. But now let's get back into the video. So I want to point out 3 different defects that we saw in the first half. Point number 1, the duo between Eric Garcia and Ronald Araujo. That duo looked very shaky, and I know that this is the reason on why Gerard Piqué is so important for this season, because when it comes to Piqué being in that defensive line, he adds so much more. Like the amount of misplaced passes that we saw with Eric Garcia and Araujo, it was immense in the first half. Like there were also moments where Eric Garcia and Serginho Dest were not communicating and were not understanding one another, and they were like, okay, who's going to get the ball when the ball is in the air, when the ball is on the ground and no one is getting it? Who's going to get it, Eric Garcia or Serginho Dest? They did not have that understanding, and Galatasaray wanted to punish Barcelona in those moments, and so you can see the inexperience that Eric Garcia does carry with him. So you just felt like, right, that Araujo really missed his partner. He really missed Gerard Piqué, because there were moments, there were phases in the first half where Araujo did look very nervous, and so that allowed to see Galatasaray see some chances on the field, which is why we almost saw Barcelona concede about 1 to 2 times in the first half. Point number 2, Frenkie de Jong playing as a central defensive midfielder. Frenkie de Jong cannot play in that position, and when I do mean by cannot play in that position, I mean no. Frenkie de Jong has too much talent, too much skill, too much IQ to be playing in a midfield where he does have to play as a central defensive midfielder. Like, he doesn't do bad, but he can give so much more. He just looks way too limited in this position. Like, the only thing that he had to do in his role within the central defensive midfield position was to basically regain the ball back every time Galatasaray lost the ball, and then pass the ball towards Pedri, where Pedri received the ball and he was looking for those through passes. But that was basically it. Like, nothing else was asked for coming from Frenkie de Jong. Nothing when it comes to through balls or shooting or trying to dribble past 2 or 3 players to get inside the box. None of that. No runs into the box. Nothing. And so again, this man here, this player, just has too much talent, too many skills, too much high of an IQ to be playing in that position. He needs to be in a team, and when I do mean by team, I mean Barcelona. He does need to play as an interior, play next to Pedri, play next to Gavi, play next to Ricky Puig, play next to Nico Gonzalez. That is Frenkie de Jong's main position. And then moving on to point number 3, Adama Traoré's impact on the field. Look, his dribbling is insane. Like the amount of players that he can take on the right flank, it is immense. It is great. It is almost, I would say, world class. Like he does so good at what he likes to do the most. But given the context of this game, seeing how they were defending with like 9-10 men on the field, this game required a right winger to be able to have a left foot, to be able to shoot the ball, to be able to look for those through passes. Galatasaray were not permitting at some point Adama Traoré to go out wide onto the right flank because they knew that that was the only thing that this player could do, which is true, which meant that Adama had to be forced to go inside, cut inside, and try to create with another player like Pedri or maybe someone like Nico Gonzalez, Ferran Torres. But Adama Traoré, like when it comes to those skill sets, when he needs to cut in, that is not his best way of playing. Like he was forced to use his left foot, and that weakens Barcelona's attack. This is why I do say that it is very important for Barcelona to give Adama Traoré the best possible environment to set this team up, to set the opposition to the point where all of the players are on their right side and you leave Adama Traoré isolated on the right flank, and then he'll be able to take on 1 to 2 players and be a very big impact on the right flank and give Barcelona more opportunities to score. But it was hard because Galatasaray read Adama's game very well. They read Barcelona very well. They knew what they wanted to do with this player, and they were not allowing Adama to do so. So his capacity to create with the ball, cutting in and making those through passes, he just cannot do that. But Galatasaray were pushing him to do that, which is why he looked like he was running out of ideas. And all of this led towards one very big problem. It led towards Barcelona being unable to penetrate Peña, the goalkeeper of Galatasaray and the ex-goalkeeper of Barcelona. Because right now this guy, right, this goalkeeper Peña, he is on loan and he has been doing phenomenally well. But Barcelona did very little to harm this team. And so we go into the second half and we're like, okay, there clearly needs to be like some sort of readjustments. We need substitutions because these players that were starting in the starting 11, it was just not working. So we saw 3 substitutions. We saw Dembélé coming in for Ferran Torres, Busquets coming in for Nico Gonzalez, and Gerard Piqué coming in for Ronald Araujo. So 10 minutes into the game, that gave us enough of a sample to understand, okay, maybe this is not just a player problem. Maybe as a collective, this squad at the moment, it is not 100% focused because we did lack focus. Not really much has changed from making those 3 substitutions. Like, yes, did we improve from the first half? And we look at the second half, right? Did we improve? Yes, we did improve, but it did not come to the point where Barcelona were able to score 1, 2, 3, 4 goals against Galatasaray. Like, we have had such a tough time trying to get through that defense. But again, we have improved, but it was not enough. Like, for example, we saw some big chances. We saw that Traoré finally take the responsibility to shoot with his left foot. We saw that. We saw Memphis Depay test the goalkeeper a lot of times. We saw Frenkie de Jong, right, on the 70th minute. Like, literally go back to that minute. On the 70th minute, that was probably Barcelona's biggest chance of that game. And I wished that ball went in because Barcelona really needed that goal. So basically, it was like, I believe Aubameyang was trying to do a overhead kick. He failed. It went straight to Frenkie de Jong. Frenkie de Jong hits it. It hits the post and we're like, oh my God. Like, if only that ball went in. Like, I don't care if that ball looked ugly or if that goal kick looked ugly or if that goal itself looked very ugly. We needed that ball to go inside, but it just did not go inside. So we saw some chances, but it was not enough. Like, we needed to play our game. We needed to score beautiful, great goals, but Barcelona looked like they did not have that capacity. And so we failed to torture this team, and especially at the Camp Nou. Like, we are talking about a Galatasaray side that is currently 12th in the league and is considered as one of the worst teams in this league, the Turkish league, to have clean sheets. They only have a total of like 3 clean sheets throughout the whole course of this season so far. They are considered as one of the worst. And the fact that Barcelona were not able to score not a single goal against this side, it's just Barcelona were flat in this game. I know that this team can do better. I know that they will do better in the second half. It's very disappointing for Barcelona to display something like this in front of their own fans. Like, here's another thing that I do want to say. I know that I'm just talking about Barcelona, but I also do want to give credit towards Galatasaray itself for defending so well, for covering the lanes for Barcelona, because there were moments where Pedri could have easily made it through ball and it could have easily gone into like Aubameyang or Ferran or Memphis Depay. Like, Pedri was probably one of the best players on that field tonight, but they were covering the passing lanes. Like, and also every time Pedri and Frenkie, right, when they were the interiors in the second half, there were moments where they had the ball, they could have turned and looked to see if they could pass it to Jordi Alba, Aubameyang, maybe even shoot the ball, but Galatasaray did not even give Pedri and Frenkie enough time to turn because they covered their own spaces so well. And lastly, another reason why they were able to keep it 0-0, it was because Iñaki Peña was there to save the day. He made a total of like 3 big saves against Barcelona, which could have easily be converted into 3 goals, but Iñaki Peña was on his A game. He had a great game. I understand that he is currently on loan at Galatasaray, and I'm starting to get and see why this guy was having a great game because he wanted to impress. He wanted to put out a show in front of Barcelona and say, look, this is the reason why you should call me in. This is the reason why I should be that starter over Ter Stegen. Like really think about that, right? Like Iñaki Peña is trying to make a case on why he should be a starter over someone like Ter Stegen, and this is a great moment for him to prove that because Ter Stegen has not been in his A game, and I do believe that if Iñaki Peña continues to be like this, then yes, Barcelona is going to come calling. So I understand why he was trying to do his absolute best in this specific game. But here is how I'm going to be concluding this video and this match itself. We look at this stat here. We look at how many crosses they have executed in the game. That was basically Barcelona's game plan throughout the whole course of this game. They couldn't penetrate in the middle, which is why they have been forced to go out wide, send the ball to either Jordi Alba or Adama Traoré or maybe sometimes Serginho Dest, and basically just cross the ball into the box, which is why we also saw Aubameyang become the striker, Luke de Jong become the striker, and that was it. They had a total of 37 crosses. That is so many crosses for a team like Xavi, where they are very known for playing through the middle and making these beautiful goals. So you can just see that this was not Barcelona's best game. As a matter of fact, even if they wanted to attempt a crossing game, like for example against Galatasaray in this game, they were not even accurate in terms of their crosses, and so it was just a game to forget. And that is how I'm just going to be concluding this game. It was very unfortunate to see Barcelona perform like this. My man of the match when it comes to Barcelona, I'm just going to have to say that it was Pedri, because he was the only player there that was actually trying to attempt to go through the middle, but there was no support. Barcelona were not focused, and we're going to have to see what we did wrong and try to move forward from there. Our next game, it is going to be against Osasuna on March 13th, which will be on Sunday in about 3 days. And then after that, we're going to be visiting Galatasaray and play that second leg, and hopefully Barcelona do score 3 to 4 goals and advance to the next round, because right after that, we will be playing against Real Madrid and we're going to need that momentum. But that is going to be wrapping up today's Barcelona post-match review. Thank you guys so much for watching. If you guys are new here, welcome to the channel. Please like, subscribe, comment, and I will see you guys in the next video.